All right, well, hey, it's a good day to be alive, man. This
Oh,
is
that's right.
Randy Baker. This is a good brother of mine here, Mark Prettyman.
What's happening?
Yes, it's glad just thought, he got a story here, really inspirational, and I bring him in here. And so let me ask you, Mark, when you start riding, man?
Oh,
You
man.
start getting
With a
bikes
motor on it?
with a motor, non-motor.
I think I was 11 when I was old enough to go get me one. Mom didn't want me to have one, a motorcycle. My first one was a TM 75. I wanted an RM80, but I had to make my own money in the neighborhood, pop bottles and
Lawnmower.
whatever back then. That was 1970. No, 81. By 81, I was 11, and man, returning pop bottles and cutting grass, carrying over ladies' groceries, whatever I could do, man. I got up enough money, a couple $100, and got a ride out to Kenmore from an older kid. One of my neighbors, his older brothers, rode me out there, and I got that TM75 and loaded it up, and I had to hide it behind the garage where I lived. Was a Minnesota mining company, and I hid it in the woods, and I sneak back every day and start that sucker up, push it down the path, start it, and just start ripping around with the older guys, man. We had a lot of bikes and
Give it
stuff
the
back
gas
then.
and spit out some spokes.
Man, I loved it. I was hooked, man. I was hooked right off the
Man,
bat.
ain't that the truth?
Because, I was the youngest kid in the neighborhood, and
Anything with a motor, man, adrenaline.
Man, let me tell you.
Yeah, man.
And it was different back then, man. We had the points and all that, so, my parents didn't know I had it. Something breaks down on it, man. It was a Suzuki, so it was breaking down. And
Now what was the last bike you had?
last bike I had was an 18 Street Glide.
Street Glide,
Street
yeah.
Glide, loved it,
That was a
man.
Jesus bike.
That was the Jesus bike.
Yeah, right.
Said Jesus saves, bro, on the back, and I got to witness a lot of people just because of that sticker, man. And that was an amazing thing.
Nah, it's a sweet bike. You gonna get that? The next one gonna be the best one though.
That's right.
I know you're gonna be
Street
riding.
glider, road gliding.
And just since I've known you, it's just to see your life change and turn around, man. Like tell a little bit about how'd you come to the faith? Like what made you come?
Oh man.
You know what I mean? What made you? Just tell a little background.
Oh man.
Story.
Well, like I said, I lived by the Minnesota mines, and I used to watch all the older guys party back there. Man, we had a lake back there, and they had the big monster trucks ripping through the field, and the bikes, and drinking beer, and the chicks, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. I guess I didn't put the bar too high on what I wanted to be, but I made it. But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be free and have fun and just be crazy. And so that's what I did. That's what I did for years and years and years.
Now you was adopted.
Yeah, I was adopted.
Like, did that affect you later on? I mean, how did that... you were grateful, just glad to be...
I always knew. They didn't have to tell me. I just always knew. Mom and Dad and my sister, Dad and sister especially, they were mega geniuses. I mean, Dad was head of all Firestone computer and research in Akron there, and Mom's always been an art teacher. She's 87, and she's still driving and still teaching art, man. She's getting old, but she's still doing what she does. But my sister, the government, got her right out of college. She graduated at the top in Ohio and everything. She was a mega genius. I don't think they could come get me for telling now, but they come and took her away kind of, and she helped design all that Star Wars stuff in space, man. I remember years after that, she had told me that when she was trying to get in with that the government, NSA or whoever, coming was checking up on her, and they'd have to check on all the family members and stuff. And she told me when it was and told me what they found out about me and stuff, but it just happened to be this a week that they were out in the woods watching or whatever, surveillance and everything. When I had a
Man,
big giant, big
I
blowout,
thought they was following me, man.
big old acid party, and we were just, I mean, the wildest I ever was, and that's when they were watching. But evidently,
They had the dirt on you.
they just deemed me no threat to the country or whatever. I don't know, but it's just funny. But
But
anyway,
like so all through your wild years and all that, you know, getting growing up and stuff. Like, I mean, what did it came to a point where,
yeah,
man, this is I need
I'll
something
never
got to
forget
give.
that
There's got to
point.
be more than this.
Oh man, yeah.
Like, you know,
I always had that. I always had that missing piece, that hole. You know what I'm saying? That
right?
void inside me, man, that wasn't quenchable. I mean, temporarily it was. I collected skulls and knick-knack stuff and paraphernalia and bikes and women. You know, anything to fill that void. And I mean, I'd get to a point, I'd get a new bike or a new chick or a cool skull or something, and I'd feel satisfied temporarily, but it didn't last long, and it was never good enough. Always had something missing, man. You know, even when I didn't really know it. But it wasn't until I was, I think, 45. Well, it was about 10 years ago. I'm 55 now. About 10 years ago, it just all came crashing down, man. I was using heavier than I ever was. 18-year relationship came to an end abruptly, and I went nuts. I went nuts. I went out and begged and borrowed and stole and did every drug imaginable, and
So
went
you had an
on.
18-year relationship.
18-year relationship,
18
man,
years. All
ended
right.
bad. Yeah, yeah, and
Wow.
I just went nuts. I wanted out of it anyways. The last 6 years were bad, but you know, being a guy and just setting your ways, you figure this is what it's gonna be. This is my girl, and even though it's horrible, that's what I'm gonna do. You know, setting your ways.
It's interesting because like it's times where you bottom out.
Oh
You start
man, I'll
thinking,
tell
you
you
know.
what.
I always people say, "Hey, when I hit the lottery, man, wait till I hit that super Powerball, man. I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah, I
tie
don't
it to
want
the
that.
church." I'm like, "Come on, man."
No,
You
we've
know,
seen that
everybody
happen.
says that,
We've
but it's
seen that
like,
happen, and
but
they
you know
don't.
what's crazy is people. You don't see people running to change your life when everything's going
You
great.
know that's right.
You know what I mean? So like, here you are bottoming out,
Oh
crashing and
man.
burning.
So yeah, when
It's
that
like
happened,
something's got to
man,
give. Go ahead.
I wasn't ready for it, man. I was kicking indoors. I was off the chain. I mean, I was up for about 3 weeks straight. Just I didn't know what I was doing. I was out of my mind. When I got tested, they had to give me a bigger drug panel test to see what all I was on. They took me to Portage County Jail when they finally caught up to me. I finally got some sleep, and I woke up to 3 red dots on me, you know, and they dragged me out in my underwear in the middle of winter and took me to Portage County Jail, man. I had like
Oh man.
nine felonies I was looking at, and I was still out of my mind. I mean, I was just growling and cussing, and I don't remember all too much of any of it really. But there I found myself in Portage County Jail. They had me on the intake thing behind the glass wall in the turtle suit, you know, and I was just on an animalistic level, man. I remember tearing my hair out, I tore all my eyebrows out, I tore my beard and mustache out, I even pulled about 8 of my own teeth out. I was on an animalistic level, man. I was, you know, those drugs
Right.
got meaner and meaner over the years, and the drug test panels they gave me, I was on about 23 different substances. I mean, they all fall into certain classes, but there was 23 drugs that I had done a lot of, and my mind was nuts. I mean, I was mush brain. I was an animal. Nobody would come in there. I didn't know I was in there that long, but I think it was New Year's night or Christmas night. I knew it was a big night. I was in there, and I was in a bad way because I mean I've been doing drugs for 40 years, nonstop every day, just about everything you can imagine. And I was doing all of them when they caught up to me. And when I first got in that relationship, I was on 3 different medicines for depression, anxiety, ADHD, and the whole everything that I've been diagnosed with. So when I was in jail, I had to come off all those drugs with a broken heart over Christmas and New Year's, and off all my mental illness drugs that I had been on for 18
So
years.
you was in heavy depression.
Man, I was in.
Humming
I
and
don't know what
bumming.
I was in. It was, I had thought I'd hit rock bottom before, but that's when I was laying on rock bottom and the trap door gave out, man. And I went lower than that, And
So what was it, man? Like,
it's right around the corner.
all right, all right.
So I think it was Christmas night or New Year's night. This cute little sheriff came in, and she sat next to me, and I was still kind of, out there, and she said, "Look, Mark, you're not a bad guy. You're a good guy. You're not a bad-looking guy." She said, "I know how you're feeling. You got a broken heart. Your life's down and out, but they're just waiting. You think you're gonna die, by not eating, because I didn't eat or drink a drop, and I didn't want to live, And she just that she would come in and sit next to me and just kind of blew me away, And she said, "They're just waiting around the corner. They've been waiting for 2 weeks. They got a gurney there. They got Ivy there. They're just waiting for you to pass out, and they're going to pump you full of nutrients. So it's not going to work, what you're trying to do." She said, "You're going to be better. You're going to feel better." And it just kind of blew me away. And she talked me into eating a little bit, and I tried to eat a little bit and everything. But I don't know how long it was. I mean, it was all kind of a blur. But that kind of blew me away. And I look back, and that was kind of an angel. I mean, I know the sheriff or whatever, but it was kind of God talking to me. And I didn't know it. I didn't want to hear nothing about God. I had a couple friends that, got out of the party scene and tried to tell me about God. I mean, they'd come into houses and give me a Bible and say, this. I said, get that out of here. I don't want to have nothing to do with that. I never, I don't want nothing to do with that or the news or no. But so after that, I started eating. So they put me in a cell by myself with a camera on me, and I was still just groaning and crying and rocking, still out of my mind, probably screaming, groaning, crying, and I wasn't eating much or I couldn't get up. I mean, I was done, man, and I don't know what time it was. It feels like it was the middle of the night, but you never know in there. And I remember I heard the little tiny door on the cell open, the little door they give you a tray and stuff, and it was a guard in the middle of the night, and he says, "Hey, are you okay?" And I'm just like, or whatever. And he gave me this little green Bible through the slot, man, and I still have it. And I'll never forget.
Oh, get in.
Little green Bible, man, and he gave that to me, and I got up and I went over and got it from him, and he told me to pray. He told me to pray, and I did. I don't remember what I said or what he told me to say or anything. I remember his face, and I remember that clear as day. I don't remember hardly any of it very clear, but I remember dropping to my face, and I just cried and screamed out, and I just cried to God, and I prayed for the first time in my life ever. I mean, I guess last resort, very, very, very last resort.
So I was in the cell then.
I was in the cell, man, and I'll never forget, man. I mean, I hate to say it, but that was the biggest thing that ever happened to me in my entire life. I used to say it was my son being born, because that was the most amazing thing that happened to me, But hands down, this was it. I dropped to my knees, just feeling so horrible. I mean, I felt bad in my life, but coming off all that and just the whole deal was horrible. I just wanted to die. I fell on my face and cried and prayed, and instantly, I felt complete and whole, and that void that I didn't really even realize I had was just completely full and warm. I felt refreshed, I felt renewed, and that void for the first time I had ever felt was full and overflowing.